Oh, sir, you are too kind. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Folks, what an incredible call. I got to tell you something. We just got a gentleman here, pledged us a 5-digit prime number. What a day this has been. I'm telling you, the phones are ringing off the hook. These phones are on fire. On fire. I mean, we can't keep up with the calls. I'm serious. Well, thank you for that, sir. Really whets my appetite. So anyways, as I was saying, many thought he should have pled guilty under the statute of nolo comprende. Comprende, get it? You guys send in the best jokes. On Square One TV, though, we help you comprehend every aspect of mathematics, folks. We've had pledges up to here. I'm serious. You got to keep them coming in now because, we're a little short on time, but we're doing well, and we know that if you put your minds to it, you can do it. So hang in there because we need your support so you can do it.
Bubbles, we're so excited that you decided to join us here on the Math-a-thon. Tell me, how was your cab ride?
Oh, excuse me, sir. I couldn't help but notice that you have an elephant with you on the set.
Yeah, I do.
Well, you really should take this elephant to the zoo.
Oh, that's a great idea. I think I'll just do that. Come on, Bubbles.
Good. Thank you.
Let's go. Come on.
Listen, folks, this is a wild show. We got some more pledges came in. Here's one from Easy Off, Easy On, Ohio. Guy sent us factors of all numbers up to and including 1,000. Great one. Here's one from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Guy sent us a covey of pigeons to use in applying the pigeonhole principle. We're getting some great stuff today, folks. Keep those pledges coming in because, hey, where else but on Square One TV could you see these examples of finding the area of a rectangle?
Now, we need to know the area. Do you know how to do that?
No, ma'am. I spent my entire childhood living out back at the garage,
We multiply.
So do my turtles.
Oh, we multiply the length of your lawn times the width of your lawn. That will give us an answer in square feet. Now, 2 times 3 is 6. So 20 times 30 is 600. 600 square feet.
Well, let's see. This one is,
50 yards by 2 yards. What's the area?
I don't know. You multiply the length times the width. So that's 50 times 2. That's 100 square yards. That's the area we need.
Folks, how those memories must just be flooding back and getting you all wet with math, huh? They do for me. The fire is that way. Listen, folks, remember, to find the area of a rectangle, all you do is multiply the length of the rectangle times the width. A baby could do it. Nothing more to it than that. He went that way. So give it a try, because, like I said,
Central casting, get me a ventriloquist on the double.
Excuse me, young man.
Yes?
I thought I told you to take that elephant to the zoo.
Oh, I did. And she loved it. Now she wants me to take her to the movies.
Oh, good. Well, see you.
Okay, we could go to see either Elephant Man or Dumbo or what? Out of Africa. That's a great idea. You buy the peanuts, I'll buy the popcorn. It'll be great.
I hope you have a good time, folks. Aren't they a great couple? Listen, I got to tell you, we just got a fantastic pledge in from a woman in Los Horizons, California. She has sent us her collection of quadrilaterals. And get this, all of them have an area of 2 square meters. Thank you very much for that.
Strangelove. Dr. Strangelove to the phone bank, please.
Now, where was I? Oh, yes, of course, like a baby. We are crying out for your support. Please, please send us in your pledges because Square One needs you. And you know what? You need Square One. You really do. So keep those pledges coming, folks. Look, the phones are ringing off the hook. We're having a fabulous day.
Mathman, your mission is to eat all decimals greater than 1. When you encounter a number, you will have until the count of 3 to make your decision. And beware the humorless Mr. Click. He will... eat you. Emily, roughing the Mathman.
One of the best things about math is it's absolutely free. Once you learn it, you'll never lose it. Oh, I think I'm getting a cramp.
These 2 contestants, Jessica Albano and Mehdi Akasem, will separate mathematical fact from fiction on Square One Challenge. Hi, everybody. I'm Reggie Cathy, and welcome to Square One Challenge. And now let's meet the host of our show, Mr. Larry Cedar.
Oh, hi. How you doing, Reg? Welcome to Square One Challenge. This is going to be a great show today because we have some terrific questions. We have some great guests, and I'm happy to welcome Mehdi and Jessica. Welcome to the show, and good luck to you. You know how the game is played, so let's get right to the first question. Helping us out from Square One TV, Beverly Mickens.
I'm right on time.
Good to see you here. All right, I bought this book, at a garage sale. Now, it was sold at 50% of its original price. I paid $12 for this book. What was the original price? There's your first question. It was sold at 50% of its original price. I paid $12 for it. What was the original price? And now for some answers to that question, let's meet today's guests from Square One TV. They are Louisa Lashin and Chris Franco. Hello.
Hello, Larry.
How are you? Here is the question. Once again, what was the original price? Chris.
Well, the original price was half of $12, $6.
Chris says $6. Louisa.
I say the original price was $24, 2 times $12.
Louisa says $24. Now, Medi, Jessica, it's up to you to decide if Louisa is telling the truth or bluffing, and if Chris is telling the truth or bluffing. They may both be telling the truth, both bluffing. 50 points for each correct decision. Think about it. This book was sold at 50% of its original price. All right. You've had time to lock in your decisions. Medi.
I think Louisa's telling the truth and Chris is bluffing.
You believe that Louisa is telling the truth, $24, and Chris, who said $6, is bluffing. All right, Jessica.
I said that Louisa is telling the truth and Chris is bluffing.
You believe Louisa is telling the truth and Chris is bluffing. For 100 points, let's find out how you did on the first question of the game. Will the truth tellers please stand? Louisa was telling the truth. Chris was indeed bluffing. Louisa, can you explain your answer?
Well, you paid $12. If $12 was 50% or half of the original price, then the original price must have been twice what you paid, or $24.
There you have it. Thank you, Louisa. Thank you, Chris. Let's see how you did on the first question. Medi, correct about both Chris and Louisa. 50 points each. 100 points on the board. Nice start. Jessica, also correct about Chris and Louisa. 100 points for you as well. We're off to a terrific start. It's a tie game, and we're heading into our second question. Now, it's a video question, so pay close attention to the monitor. Here's the question. Iron Wrist McDougal is a famous darts player. Now, his teammates have presented him with this dartboard, 6 darts, and the following challenge. Hit this target with all 6 darts. Get a score of exactly 40. Can Iron Wrist do it? Hit this target with all 6 darts. Get a score of exactly 40. Can Iron Wrist do it? Chris.
Yes, he can get 40. He could make 20 points with 2 tens and still have 4 darts to score the other 20.
Chris says yes, he can. Truth or bluff? Louisa.
No, he can't make a score of 40. Even if you hit a 7 with every dart, that's too much.
Louisa says no, he can't. Think about it. 6 darts. Can he get a score of exactly 40? Chris says yes. Louisa says no. Medi, you've had time to lock in your decisions.
I think Louisa's telling the truth and Chris is bluffing.
You believe that Louisa, who said no, is telling the truth, and Chris, who said yes, is bluffing. Jessica.
I think Louisa is bluffing and Chris is telling the truth.
You believe that Louisa is bluffing and Chris is telling the truth. We'll find out which of you is right. For 100 points, will the truth tellers please stand? Louisa was telling the truth. Chris was bluffing. Louisa, can you explain your answer?
Yes, even a darting great like Iron Wrist McDougal couldn't get a score of 40. It's impossible. You see, the lowest number on the board is 7. The smallest possible score you could possibly get is by hitting a 7 with all 6 darts, and that's a total of 42. Even the smallest possible score is too high.
Thank you very much, Louisa and Chris. Let's see how you did. Medi, you were correct about Chris and Louisa. Another 100 points gives you a total of 200 points. Jessica, I'm sorry you were not correct about Chris or Louisa. You'll get no points on this round, but you still have 100 points. You have plenty of time to catch up because we have the challenge question coming up. Here is the challenge question from Reg Cathy. Thank you, sir. This question is worth 200 points. Gives you a chance to come from behind, or you, Medi, to cement a win. To get these 200 points, you must be correct about both Louisa and Chris. It's all or nothing, so good luck. Here's Beverly with the question. Hello. You see before you 3 figures, A, B, and C. Here's the question. Can any of these figures be folded to make a box without a top? Can any of these 3 figures be folded to make a box without a top? Chris.
Yes, A can. The square sticking down becomes the bottom, and the other squares fold up and around to form the sides of the box.
Thank you, Chris. He says A can. Truth or bluff? Louisa.
I think it's B. The middle square is the bottom. The other squares fold up to be the sides.
Louisa says B can. Truth or bluff? Think about it. Which of these figures can be folded to make a box without a top? Chris says A, Louisa says B. Medi, you've had time to lock in your decisions?
I think Louise is telling the truth and Chris is telling the truth as well.
You believe that both Chris and Louisa are telling the truth. That is an option. Jessica?
I think that Louisa is telling the truth and Chris is bluffing.
You believe that Louisa is telling the truth and Chris is bluffing. Let's find out how you did in the challenge round, worth 200 points. And again, you must be correct about both Louisa and Chris to score. Will the truth tellers please stand? They are indeed both telling the truth. Let's find out from Chris how that can be.
Sure, we're both right. Just try it. This one folds up very nicely.
And B folds up to make a box without a top, too.
I wonder if C will also fold up to form a box without a top. Let's see how our contestants did. Medi, you were correct about Chris and Louisa. You get the 200 challenge points for a total of 400. Jessica, I'm sorry, you were only correct about Louisa. You won't get the 200 points. You still have 100 points. However, Medi, with 400 points, you have enough to win the game. Congratulations. Game well played, some very tough questions. Jessica, congratulations as our runner-up. You received a waterproof Square One TV watch, which looks real nice, and National Geographic's game Global Pursuit, which is a lot of fun, so way to go. Medi, congratulations as our grand prize winner. You get the Square One TV jacket and the sound machine, which is also a terrific little audio device. You'll have a great time with that. Thanks for playing. You did a great job. Thanks for helping us out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Square One Challenge.
The story you are about to see is a fib, but it's short. The names are made up, but the problems are real.
It was Friday, 4:47 p.m., and New York City was reeling under a number of threatened strikes. The trash collectors were threatening to strike, the toll booth collectors were threatening to strike, the tax collectors were threatening to strike, and worst of all, the waiters in trendy West Side restaurants were threatening not to strike. I was working the day watch out of Mathnet. My partner is George Franklin. The captain is Joe Greco. My name is Monday. I'm a mathematician. We've been working on a strange case of robbery. Someone was cutting off parking meters throughout New York City with a chainsaw and stealing the money inside, plus the meters themselves. While we were thinking our brains out about this crime, my partner's apartment was burgled. That made both of us mad, especially George.
You have a lovely apartment, George.
Huh. You should have seen it before it was robbed.
We had a couple of clues to follow up, but as Officer Krupke said when I asked, what are the chances of getting this stuff back?
Not good, I'm afraid. The thieves take appliances like these because they're easy to sell.
And so George's Cirrus was put on the back burner while we went after bigger fish to fry. All the parking meters which were stolen the day before they were to be emptied. In other words, when they were at their fullest. We figured it might be an inside job and talked with Mr. Edwin Moose.
We understand you schedule parking meter collections?
That's right. Just what do you do after you finish making the schedule?
Usually I smile, knowing I've done a crackerjack job.
When do you distribute the schedule?
The following morning, I hand all the collectors and their supervisors a copy.
We learned that Mr. Moose ordered 86 copies from an outside copying firm, but then we learned that the copier didn't make 86 copies. The counter on the copy machine...
It registered 87, one extra. Peter Pickwick may be our crook.
You have the right to remain silent.
Looks like we've solved another one, Pard.
Another one, Pard.
But then, wouldn't you know, another parking meter was robbed, only not cut off by a chainsaw. Liza Borden was a witness.
Then what, Miss Borden?
He took an axe and gave his meter 40 whacks.
Did you think anything of that?
Well, I must admit my curiosity began to pique. Finally, the meter busted and he grabbed the coins.
Did he put them in his pockets?
Nope. He looked at them and threw them on the ground and drove off.
2 more similar incidents were reported where meters were struck, but the money wasn't taken. George jokingly told a reporter that among other things which were pilfered from his pad was a very valuable quarter, a 2-headed Washington coin. It got plenty of publicity, and we were pretty sure the man who robbed George and his neighbors was also the man who... He's looking for one very specific coin, George.
Of course. The two-headed Washington quarter. Which doesn't exist.
You know that, and I know that, but he
Doesn't know that.
Gentlemen, I think it's time we play What Do We Know?
Know how we play that, Benny?
Let me guess. You blind your eyes and Kate and I hide until you know something.
Close.
We know that a man in a blue van robbed George's apartment.
We know that a man in a blue van visited a coin dealer with my coins.
It was about here. And we know that a man in the Chinese restaurant drove a blue van. That was here.
Yeah, and we know that a guy in a blue van busted open meters there, and there.
No. We only know that he busted one of these three. The one that Liza Borden told us about.
You're right. The other two didn't have witnesses. You ever notice there's never a witness around when a cop needs one?
Benny, want to do a mathematician a favor?
Name it.
Take the artist sketch and see if Liza and Sari can identify it. That'll really help us nail this thing down.
I'm history.
I'll call Ace Delivery on the off chance they've heard from Barney Oldmeal.
I'll boil some water. Somebody faxing something to us?
Uh-huh. It should be the exact addresses from Ace Delivery. This is Kate Monday from Mathnet. Well, thank you anyway, and thank you for the addresses. They haven't heard from or about Oldmeal.
Hey, Kate, talk about your small world. Oldmeal made a delivery to my building.
Really? Let's mark the deliveries on the map. While George read the exact addresses, I marked those locations on our map. I'll be.
What are you doing?
Looking for patterns? Look, the 3 parking meter rip opens were near deliveries. Here, here, and here.
Uh-huh. And so were 3 blue van sightings. So he could have parked the van.
Put one of your quarters in a meter.
Sure, and now he's going back, ripping meters to shreds and looking for a non-existent two-headed quarter.
Exactly. Mathnet Monday. Oh, yes, Benny. They both made positive IDs? Thanks, big guy. I owe ya. Liza and Therese say Barney is our man.
Kate, the pattern doesn't work. Look, the Chinese restaurant is there, but no delivery and no parking meters.
I have a hunch. He got hungry, had a meal there, and spent another one of your quarters. Mathnet Monday. Again? Holy moly, another parking meter was split open.
What location?
Where was it? 23rd in Lexington? Thanks.
That's near delivery, Kate. The pattern is working. Kate, I wonder if there were other robberies that day.
In New York City, there are hundreds of robberies every day.
But what about in those areas?
I'm sure there were. They're pretty big zones.
But what about these addresses?
Good point. Maybe that's his M.O. He makes a delivery and rips off an apartment in the same building.
Right. Changes the logos on his truck and takes off. I'll check robbery division.
Hi, Kate. I got the report on the last meter mauling.
Same thing?
Same thing. Money all over the joint.
Guess what? Every one of those addresses reported at least one robbery that day. Same kinds of things, too. Small appliances.
Okay. There were 8 deliveries. There was a robbery at every place he delivered.
And he went back to 4 of those places to look for my quarter.
That leaves 4 zones to cover.
Too much territory. We can't do it.
He probably didn't spend a quarter at my place because he would have parked before the robbery. And we can eliminate Zone 4.
How so?
No parking meters. Peter Pickwick cut them all down. They haven't been replaced yet.
That's right. And in Zone 9,
Well, there are parking meters there, Benny.
Yes, but I happen to know that they're nickel and dime meters.
And he's looking for quarters. He had 6, and he looked in 5 places.
And that leaves only Zone 3.
Are the parking meters there?
Sure. Remember? We talked to Blonde's Modoc. His dry cleaning store is there.
And the driver...
Parked in front of the store, put a quarter in the meter.
We've got him nailed. Let's go into the dry cleaning business. We decided to stake out the dry cleaners. It was only a matter of time before Barney Oldmeal showed up to try and reclaim the non-existent quarter, and we were ready for him. We staked Benny outside in his cab, and George and I took on the job of dry cleaning. May I help you?
Are my pants ready yet?
Tuesday.
Thank you.
I wonder what's keeping our axe-wielding robber.
He'll be along. Don't worry.
Benny, you're supposed to be on stakeout.
Did you spot him?
I didn't, but somebody did. I just got a call from Central. The guy who runs the newsstand on the corner of 37th and 8th just called 911.
What happened?
A guy in a blue van drove up, went into the newsstand and rifled through his quarters.
What? That's in Zone 1. He already looked in Zone 1. He broke a meter there.
Maybe he made more than one stop per zone.
And something else we completely overlooked. What if he spent more than your 6 quarters?
Sure. Would accumulated more change in the normal course of a day.
He could have spent 7 quarters, or 8, or 20.
He could have spent them on anything, not just parking meters.
Yeah, like Chinese food. He could have spent it anywhere.
Could have bought a newspaper, chewing gum, chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
We were so sure we were right. We didn't think this problem through very carefully. We goofed, gentlemen.
Now it's going to be like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Looking for what?
A needle in a haystack.
Why would anybody want to look for a needle in it?
We've got to get back at it, guys. You two go talk to the newsie and see if we can get any additional information.
I don't know about what.
I don't know either, but we've got to examine every possibility.
You're right. We'll call in every 15 minutes, Kate. What time you got, George?
9:57. Let's go.
How could we have overlooked those other possibilities? They were staring us right in the face. Nuts. This is Kate Monday, Mathnet. I've been better, thanks. We have an APB out on a blue van, license plate number... Never mind.
You must be the new man. Here are your deliveries.
You got the wrong guy, lady.
You start with the stuff on the top. You take this to Amsterdam Avenue. Then take the shirt to 780 West End. Hurry, I want to close up.
Get out of my way, lady. I got things to do.
After your deliveries. What if you're too busy?
I'll take that, buddy.
Hey, you guys can't do that. You're mathematicians. I know my rights.
Yes, I can. I'm a cop. I'm going to read you your rights.
Boy, am I glad to see you guys.
We spotted the van, then doubled back.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Oldmeal. Were you looking for a 2-headed quarter?
Yeah. Yeah, I was. I had it in my hand. It was worth $500,000. And I spent the quarter.
And you think you put it in this parking meter?
That's about it. I figure I spent 7 quarters that day. This is the last place it could be.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Oldmeal. That quarter isn't worth a...
George?
Isn't worth what?
Isn't worth much where you're going. Take him away, Benny.
You have the right to remain silent. If you give up the right to remain silent, anything you say...
Hey, why didn't you tell him that quarter doesn't exist?
I don't know.
Give them something to think about for 7 to 10 years.
Good point.
Peter Pickwick was tried in Manhattan in and for the city of New York and convicted of a 155.40 grand larceny in the second degree and a 165.52 criminal possession of stolen property. Barney Oldmeal was tried and convicted of a 140.20, a 155.30, and a 165.45, doing bad things. Both were put away from society and parking meters for a good long time, making automobile parking a safer thing to do for all New Yorkers.
100% of Square One TV is